So, do I just grab the camera, run out the door like Bugs Bunny and shoot pictures like Yosemite Sam? No. I used to, but now I don't. I like to plan my photography, and I love the feeling of the whole process of planning a project, shooting the project, writing the text, and finishing up and publish the whole shebang online. That is so much more fun to me than just running out, shooting random pictures, even though that can be fun too. Anyway, let's roll the intro and then we'll talk about how I plan my project. So, when I start planning a project, I start by scratching my head. Or if I start to plan out something else I'm going to do, whether it's a photography project, it's something I need to repair at home, or just something I'm going to do, a travel or whatever. I always start by doing nothing. I take a long break from the world, along with a long moment of silence, and really just figure out what I'm going to do, what is the purpose of this project, and what do I want to accomplish with it? What do I want to say with it? Like for instance, last year's project, I wanted to show that even though the world moves forward, sometimes faster than I'd like, something still remains the same. Like the areas where me and my wife grew up in Kalix and Haparanda and Luleå, here up in the north of Sweden. So even though a lot has changed, a lot has also stayed the same. Some say you should measure twice and cut once. When I plan a project, I like to measure 3 or 4 times before I even grab the scissor and cut, just because I want to know quite exactly what I'm going to do, but still leave some room for improvisation. Why do I want to plan it so much? Because when I get there, when I grab the camera and go out and start shooting the photographs, I work fast. And that's even when I work on a tutorial at work or writing some instructions for something. I like to take a long moment of planning, and then the execution is swift. I can write a 4-page tutorial in 10 minutes. Okay, that's a bit exaggerated, but something like that, because I plan it so well. For instance, I talked about my last project, The Boring and Mundane. That project took about a year to plan, from I believe it was September of 2023 to May of 2024. And when we got out to start shooting, we shot, or I shot, my wife was with me, but didn't use a camera. I shot the project in 3 months, I believe, June, July, August, maybe in September too. And finished it up in 2 months, I believe, and posted it all in December, January. And please, go watch it on my website, link in the description. And there's even a free photo book you can download and read for yourself on your computer. That's how generous I am. Maybe stupid, I should have published it and got money from it, but I'd rather give it away for free. So, planning. What do I plan for? What I want to shoot. I scout locations. I think about locations. I think a lot about what camera and what lenses I'm going to use. Am I going to use my compact Sony, or am I going to use my not so compact Sony? Am I going to use a 45mm lens, or am I going to use a 35mm lens? Or for this latest project, I wanted to kind of pay homage to the 60s, 70s progressive political movement in Sweden. So I bought a cheap, crappy lens of 28mm from Wiltrox, I believe. I don't know. I got it on my camera. And it stayed there since I started this project. Keeping the locations in my head and knowing what locations I want to photograph on and what gear I want to use lets me think more about the pictures than all the lenses I might have brought with me. So I usually just have one lens in my bag and one on my camera. The one in my bag is a backup lens in case I drop the camera and in case I break the lens on my camera. I don't want to go home without any pictures. For the same reason I have multiple memory cards in my bag too. And batteries. After all, I have a Sony camera. Keeping everything minimalist is a philosophy I adopted from Steve Jobs, who, according to legend, wore the same kind of trousers, the same kind of shoes, the same kind of polo shirt, ate the same kind of food every day at the same time every day, just so he didn't have to think about what he should eat, what he should wear, when he should sleep and so on. And he could focus all his energy on the next iPhone. I hope that legend is true because I like the philosophy of it. And of course, therefore, the gear I use is very constricted to one lens, one camera, one hell of a comfortable pair of shoes, one pen and one notebook as well. Because you can't do photography on a project scale without pen and notebooks. It's impossible. You can't remember everything up there in your head. And when all that is packed in my camera bag, I can go out and start shooting. And when I go out shooting, I'm confident that I have exactly what I need to finish the project and give it the best I can. Like, if we move forward to this year's project, like I said, it was, or it is, I'm not finished with it yet, an homage to the 60s, 70s political progressive music movement in Sweden, from which I've gathered a lot of inspiration. Like, for instance, progressive artists and bands like Björn Afzelius, Hoola, Bandoola, Mikael Wiehe, and other progressive artists, Nationalteatern for instance. And if you're Scandinavian, you've heard of all these bands and artists. If you're not, go check them out. but you might have to learn Swedish first. And they especially tried to pay homage to Björn Afzelius, who's a musical hero of mine. He's like kind of a Swedish version of Bruce Springsteen. He have, or had, should I say, he unfortunately passed away. He had a way with words that painted pictures that shot arrows through the heart of the listener. And okay, I said he was like Bruce Springsteen. It's like a combination of Bruce Springsteen and not Björn Afzelius, of course, he's Björn Afzelius. It's a combination of Bruce Springsteen and Bob Dylan. Björn and me, we share a lot of views on society today. And many of his texts and songs could still be relevant today. And that's kind of what I want to show with my new project. I hope this all makes sense to you. So, planning this project. During the winter I started writing short poems, partly based on Björn's lyrics, my own ideas, and poems by my favorite poet, Bruno Coayer. And I wanted to illustrate those poems with pictures. And here is that little room of improvisation. Soon I started taking pictures that I could write poems to. And that's where the pen and notebook comes in. So, my friends and followers of YouTube, I want to know, how do you plan your projects? When do you start in the process of planning? What do you start with? How do you finish your project? I want to know every thought you have about doing photography projects. So while you drop them in the comments, I'm going to work on my next video. So I'll see you then. Or at least you'll see me. I can't see you yet. So, bye for now. See you then.